All right, y'all, time to dive into another clip. This time around, my man Deontay Wilder, man, we got to talk about a recent outburst that he had during an interview. But before we get into that, I want to provide some context in regards to what made him go off. And it stemmed around his thoughts in regards to his fights with Tyson Fury. So let's hear what he has to say. And then I got some other clips that I'll play along with this one. And then we're going to take a deep dive into it, y'all. Let's go.
He didn't win nothing. They gave it to him. I can't think about the third one, but the two of them, he definitely cheated. I got proof and evidence of that. When I do my documentary and my movie about it, it's going to be presented. I'm going to bring the peoples and the artifacts and everything I know. Why you think he can't come back to America now?
Yo, Deontay, my boy, but I just got to say, man, is it cold in that studio, man? My man got on the big gloves. My man got the hat. He got the scarf. He got on, look like a mink coat. I mean, it must be chilly wherever he was doing that interview at, man. But let's get back to it. I just couldn't, man. I was just watching it, and I'm like, yo, look, my man, he must be chilly in there.
The man cheated. He the biggest cheater in boxing history. If you look him up, you will see it. And if I'm lying, then please tell him to sue me for defamation of character so I can have the proof. And I want that. I can't wait on it because being a black man with dark skin is harder to believe me than to believe a white man. And then that first fight, the referee, that's white supremacy. What he did, you know what he said? He did what he thought was best for boxing. Now your job is to count his ass out. That's what you're supposed to do. He gave him an extra 15 count. You know what I mean? Everybody know that.
All right, so that was the first clip. I played that in full with the one pit stop just to talk about, you know, and it must be chilly in there because y'all saw the other people that it looked like they had on mink coats as well. But as you can see, this is Deontay's position. Deontay's position is that he believes Tyson Fury cheated in the first two fights. Now, this is the one thing that I can say, like, whether you believe that or not, up for debate. One thing that I can say is I did watch that first fight, and it did seem like that was a very extended count when he knocked Tyson down. And whether it was a 15 count or not, like, I mean, that's debatable. Should he have won that fight? That's debatable. Like, I get that, but I can understand why he feels the way he feels. At the heart of it, he feels like he got cheated twice. He feels like he should have won the trilogy in both of the first two fights, right? So like that's his position. Now, what I'm going to share next is the clip from the interview where it goes off the rails. So let's watch that next.
You on to Tyson Fury.
I don't want to talk about him.
No, you're going to.
We're here about
No, but you're going to.
We're not going to talk about him. We're not going to talk about him at all. Understand that?
No, fair enough.
All right, then. So let's move on. It's all about Derek Chisora. That's it.
I understand that. You've called him a cheat. and it leads me
the biggest in boxing.
That's like a little bit flaky. You lost those fights. And those fights were lost. Kind of disappointing to me
can say
about
what
you
because
want.
I know the truth. I have the facts.
Okay.
Understand that. I risk my life for you's entertainment to see.
No, absolutely.
So why I ain't never lied about none in this business. Why is it so hard to believe a black man than a white man? Understand me?
Yeah,
why is it so hard to believe a black man than a white man?
Why you don't believe
Why is it?
Hey, yo, that white man got scared. He's like, oh, hold on. It's two black men over there. They coming at me. Hold on. Yo, he got scared when they brought that race into it, man. But real talk, let's go back to the beginning, right? So when you go back to the beginning of the clip, and I'm going to come back to this part, but when you go to the beginning of the clip, it sounds like there was some type of agreement made before the interview that Deontay had expressly mentioned that he did not want to talk about Tyson Fury. And we get it. The media always is going to push that boundary. If you say, hey, don't mention this, that mean they really going to mention it. Let's just be real. If somebody be like, hey, man, I don't want to talk about this. They get you on a live camera, they going to bring it up because now they got you in a position where you got to address it. And you either address it or you crash out like people say Deontay did. But just check this clip right at the beginning where it sounds like there was an agreement. That's what I think. So I'm going to play this really quick, then I'll take it right back to where we were.
You on to Tyson Fury.
I don't want to talk about him.
No, you're going to.
We're here about
No, but you're going to.
We're not going to talk about him.
So he's saying it. We're not going to talk about him.
Not going to talk about him at all.
At all. Understand that. Now watch what the guy says.
Understand that.
No, fair enough.
Fair enough. Now we see he then proceeds to do what? Bring it up again. But he tries to like angle his way into it in regards to what Deontay has expressed in the clip that we saw first.
All right, then. So let's move on. It's all about Derek Chisora, and that's it.
I understand that. You've called him a cheat.
Back again, he's talking about Tyson. He's talking about Tyson. So we see that the gentleman brought this back up.
And it leads me
the biggest in boxing.
That's like a little bit flaky.
Now he is digging the knife.
You lost those fights.
He is expressing a fact. Like, I don't argue the fact that it is a fact that Deontay lost those fights. Whether Deontay believes he lost those fights, whether he believes that Tyson Fury cheated and he should have won those fights, that is his personal opinion. But this guy, I'm giving him the credit, the benefit of the doubt, not even the benefit of the doubt. I'm giving him the credit of what he is stating is a fact. But I think he also realizes it is a fact that Deontay does not accept, that Deontay does not believe, and he's using it to trigger him. That's my assessment.
And those fights were lost. Kind of disappointing to me
You can say
about
what you
because
want. I know the truth. I have the facts.
Okay.
Understand that. I risk my life for you's entertainment to see.
No, absolutely.
So why I ain't never lied about none in this business. Why is it so hard to believe a black man than a white man? Understand me?
Yeah.
I will say this, right? You know, I get it, man. Like, there are a lot of ways to make your argument. And is there a racial aspect to it? Yes, but I don't feel like it strengthens the argument that Deontay is trying to make. Like he said in the first clip, he has proof. So if you have proof, like, it's not about believing a white man versus believing a black man. People are simply stating the fact that the fact is Tyson was made the winner of all three of the fights. Especially, more specifically, the two that you believe that you lost, Deontay. If you say you have the proof, I think the way to make the argument is to not say, oh, well, you don't believe me because I'm black, but you're not believing me because here's the proof. Now, then you got a legitimate argument, as opposed to essentially, you know, you trying to what do they say? You trying to move the goalposts, man. Like, it's not about black or white. So I can understand why this gentleman gets to a place where he's like, oh, hold on. Like, this ain't even about race. We talking about boxing. And I the same way I give the guy credit, he stated a fact. Whether or not he used it in a way manipulatively to trigger Deontay, I think that he did do that. And at the same time, this guy is like, yo, this isn't a race issue. And I don't think he was making it a race issue. He just believed that, yo, you lost, Deontay, and I'm stating the facts. But I can understand Deontay's point in regards to, you know, feeling the way he feel. But I will say that I don't think that race needed to be brought into this, because it's not a race issue. It's about whether or not the other fighter cheated and whether or not you should have really won the fight. At the heart of it, that's the issue. At least that's my interpretation of it. You share your thoughts. If you find out, if you think that this is a race issue, we'll love to hear about it in the comments. But let's continue on.
Why is it so hard to believe a black man and a white man?
Why you don't believe me?
Why is it?
First and foremost, it's got nothing to do with color.
It does. This whole country got something. This whole world got something to do with race. You think your life has been like mine?
Listen,
come on, you got white privilege, brother.
See, now he's going off the rails here. Like I like Deontay. I enjoy his fights. It's sad to see like what has happened, you know, since this trilogy with Tyson Fury, with his career and the trajectory that he was on before then. But I gotta be honest, man. Like I'm here so that we can address these things honestly, take a deep dive and look beyond the surface. And I am a very objective thinker. I like to look at things from more than just one perspective. Try my best not to be biased. And I can look at it from the other side of this and say, like, this isn't a race issue. That's just the same way that he tried to trigger Deontay. This is what I feel like Deontay is doing. Deontay is going tat for tat, where the guy figured out what was the trigger point for Deontay, and he poked at it. He poked at it, and he poked at it. And now Deontay realizes, like, oh, I know how I can trigger this gentleman is I'll bring race into it. I'll start to point out his white privilege, and then that will put him on the defensive. Because really what's going on is Deontay is feeling like he has to defend himself, even though the gentleman was doing nothing more than stating the facts. But unfortunately, the facts don't align with Deontay's belief. We see this in all areas of life, especially religion, right? Where you can give somebody a fact about something, but they're like, no, my religion says this. Like, I believe this. It is the same thing. Sometimes people belief can trump reality. And that's delusion. That's delusion if we're being completely honest. And I'm not saying this from a place of hate. I'm just examining this. I like Deontay Wilder. I want to see him succeed. If there's a way for him to, put out that documentary and share the proof, let the world know. Like, let that be the statement for the argument. Like, let that state the facts for you.
Oh, don't start.
I ain't never had that.
Don't start my.
I'm a black man with dark skin. Ain't nothing ever been given to me. We done been through so much.
Okay.
So much.
You wanted to move on, right?
Come on, man. Try to give you a vision, a little insight of what we go through as black people, man.
I got it.
You don't get it.
Well, okay.
None of y'all get it.
Where do you want me to go?
Y'all don't get it. That's the problem. You think you get what you don't understand.
Okay.
Why is it so hard? Man, let me get the out of here, bro. I'm out of here.
All right. I got to examine this, man. Like, this is a deeper issue right here, right? Like, this goes beyond, this isn't even about the black and white thing. Like, to me, Deontay is getting emotional, and he's getting emotional because he has had a very, very tough go. Like, after he lost the 3 fights to Tyson Fury, like he before then, his career was on a trajectory. He was headed up, and then things got bad. And I feel like this is a deeper issue here, is how do men deal with feeling wronged where society is not willing to acknowledge how you feel, right? Because that's essentially what we saw. The guy is like, yo, this is the fact. And Deontay is saying, well, this is how I feel. And the guy is like, I'm not really trying to hear how you feel. And let's be real, that's a deep issue. We experience this in our lives in different ways. But what happens when we're talking about an athlete that was successful in the prime of his career, and he experiences something that he believes was a wrong to him that nobody is willing to address, that people are willing to just give a pass to if it does actually prove to be true. There's frustration, there is anger, and it's all pent up inside of him. So I understand why he is reacting the way he's reacting, because this is giving him an ability to vent. Now, is this the right medium? Is this the right form? Is this the right place? Is this the right person to be venting and sharing these things? I say no, it's not. And I know people will try to, villainize him or, try to make him out to be a bad guy or be like, oh man, Deontay Wilder is crashing out. Is it a crash out? Yeah, we could say it's a crash out, but I feel like it's a deeper issue here. Man, this brother is hurting. This brother is hurting. Like, think about that. When you know how talented you are, when you know or you feel deep inside that you were wronged and the world is essentially turned their back on you. And even when they do bring you back into the forefront, they just want to keep bringing up that old wound over and over and over again. Like, that is going to trigger a lot of people, especially if they have not dealt with the source of that pain, that hurt, that anger, and that frustration. And I feel like that's what we're seeing on display here with Deontay Wilder.
I'm out of here talking about my peoples and all that shit. It's hard to believe a black man in a white man. The cheated. Tell him to sue me so I can show the facts early. Because when the documentary and everything, the story come out, I'm going to show everything.
Fantastic.
I'm going to get all the people that know and all the people that's in the inside. He got people that the inside of him. They're going to know. I don't about that. I said we didn't want to bring him up in the first place. It ain't got shit to do with him.
Fair enough.
The you talking about?
See, and that confirms what I was alluding to before, is like there was an agreement made beforehand. But again, like I said, like when you're in media, especially if you're doing like live television, they're more than likely, unless they have real integrity or they have a really good relationship with you, they're not going to respect the fact that you told them not to bring something up.
With him.
Fair enough.
The you talking about?
Yeah, man. You, man. I'm out too.
What happened there wasn't right.
He told you don't bring it up.
You want.
So you can see right there, like I was alluding to, like the other guy, he walks off and he says, hey, like Deontay told you not to bring it up. And he did. And that was the consequence. And I don't think he mad. But there is one other clip before we go where the gentleman of course, after the fact, kind of goes on his monologue about his interpretation of what happened. Out of all fairness for both sides, I'll play that clip as well.
I was a little bit embarrassed because I thought the show's coming off the rails and it was a big show and Deontay Wilder's a big name. So I'm sitting there thinking I'm a bit embarrassed by it. Then I went and I thought, he's a bit of a tit. And then I thought, is he on drugs or something? Or is this theatrics? And then I just came around to the conclusion that he's not right. He's not well.
That's bull. Like, I call BS, man. Like, and this is what's wrong with people, man. This is what's wrong with people is just take responsibility for what you did. Like, and this is the deeper issue with our society, man. Like, you just needed to own it. Just own the fact that you triggered Deontay by bringing up something that he had asked you not to bring up. Not try to say, oh man, he's a this and there's something wrong with him. Is he on drugs? And you're trying to now like put the blame on him and say, oh, look at him acting crazy. Now, this does play more into like that racial thing. Now, I'll be honest, in the moment, I said that Deontay took it there without needing to. Now, this guy is now kind of getting in that position where they bring up stuff that they like to say. Now, especially when it comes to some black men. Like, is he on drugs? Is something wrong with him? What's wrong with him? Right? Like, now this guy is taking it there.
Listen, I didn't provoke Deontay Wilder by asking him a question that he didn't want to answer. I asked him a question about something he'd said. Not something I was trying to engineer into clickbait.
Let's just be honest, man. Let's just be honest. The man told you that he didn't want to talk about Tyson Fury. And then when he gave you an opening based on something that he said, you figured a way that you could maneuver it back to Tyson and you did it. Like, own it. Own it. Like, we as people, but especially as men, like, we got to own our stuff, man. Just own it. Own your responsibility in it. It's not all on Deontay, just like it's not all on this guy either. I can look at it at both. Both of them are doing something wrong. In the moment, this man betrayed his word. If he had gave Deontay his word beforehand that he wasn't going to ask him questions about Tyson Fury or bring him up, then he first betrayed his word, which triggered Deontay. Whether you did that intentionally or not, I would venture to guess that you did do it intentionally because you wanted to talk about it. Maybe your producers are telling you, yo, we got to hear his thoughts on Tyson. Maybe they heard that first clip and they like, yo, we want to hear him make those same accusations right here on our show. And they wanted a spectacle. Own that. Own it. Now, did Deontay take it to a place where he crashed out and walked out the show and took it to another level where it didn't necessarily have to go there? Yes. I feel like out of a place of hurt, anger, and frustration, he definitely did that. But now this guy, once Deontay gone, now he's turning up. And he's absolving himself of any responsibility for what happened. Man, we see this all the time, and it's disgusting.
He called Tyson Fury a cheat. He's sitting in England. Tyson Fury, in some people's minds, is a legend in boxing. And so you're sitting in England. I thought, not unreasonable. Someone else asked him the question and he didn't like it. And he can't answer it. So he gets all agitated and upset about it. He turns it into a debate about oppression. I mean, there's loads more that you didn't see. You know, he threatened to punch me in the face and God knows whatever else. And I understand that he's got things in his life that have challenged him. But that looks to me like a man that's struggling with things because there was no reason for that reaction. There was no provocation. There was no incitement. It wasn't a case of you were told not to ask that question, so don't ask it. No, I wasn't told not to ask that question. It was on the schedule by the producer. It was a reasonable question to ask. And so we asked it. Perhaps I could.
Now, that's debatable. Like we know people do this all the time. Like, there's an agreement, and then they be like, no, it wasn't no agreement to that. Because according to the sheet that my producer gave me, that question was on there. I believe that. I believe your producer did want you to ask that question. And I believe it was more than likely on your producer's sheet. But then I do believe that Deontay Wilder probably did pull you to the side and say, hey, man, like, do me a solid. Don't bring this up. And you might have been like, yeah, man, whatever. And then you get on the show and your producer is in your ear like, yo, ask the question. And you do what? You ask the question, and this is how it plays out, man. Just own it. Own it. But if there wasn't an agreement, I'm going to be objective. If there was no agreement, and Deontay just made that up, and the other guy, like, because Deontay got he got a witness. So you got two people saying that there was an agreement before the show that he wouldn't bring it up. So that's why I'm more inclined to lean with the fact that there was something said. Whether the producer was in on that agreement or not is a whole nother story. But let's just say that it wasn't an agreement. Let's just say that there was no agreement made. In that case, then yeah, man, like Deontay didn't want to answer that question. And even in the interview, when he expressed he had no interest in it, you chose to continue to dig and go at it instead of even acknowledging in the moment. Like, well, hey, man, like this is a boxing show. This is one of the things that we want to talk about. You could have better explained why you're digging into that question as opposed to just trying to sneak it on in there. And look what happened. I'm sure this works out for their benefit anyway. We're talking about
I
it.
could have not said, oh, you're going to answer it. And perhaps I could have phrased it slightly differently. And I get that. I was a little bit.
Yeah, I still feel like, he just did not take responsibility for what was said. And at the heart of it, what I want to talk about and, leave all of you with is not so much this gentleman. I'm more considering the fact of, Deontay's experience, man. So before we go, I don't want to argue, the things that we've gone through. I've talked about that at length. What I want to leave you guys with and just plant this seed is I think the bigger issue here is how a man similar to Deontay Wilder, a successful man, an athlete, how do you deal with adversity? How do you deal with you feeling wronged and nobody is willing to acknowledge it? Like that is tough. When you feel wrong, nobody tends to believe you and you feel like there's no way to get the justice that you want. Like that creates a really tough situation. And I feel like this is where it's really important to have the right people around you where you can vent, where you can express that. And it sounds like he's doing that in the form of, the documentary that he's creating. And I hope that he's able to, be able to share the facts. If Tyson Fury really did cheat, I hope he gets the opportunity to bring that to the light so that there can be some type of vindication for him. But at the end of the day, there's also, as men, the onus on us to take responsibility for the fact that we got to control our emotions. And if we put ourselves in a situation where we can be triggered by that, then we gotta go back. Got to go back into the, the building and do the work, do the internal work, man. I cannot imagine like all of the things that Deontay has had to go through, all of the adversity that he has faced after those 3 fights with Tyson Fury, man. It hasn't been a smooth road for him. It's been a very rocky one. And I'm wishing, praying, and hoping him the best. And, if he has a resurgence in his career, I look forward to supporting the brother as I did in the past. And most importantly, I just want to see him, get vindication if he really was wrong and cheated. And I want to see this brother work through the issues of, not being believed and the pain and the anger and the frustration that's gone along with that. And I think that that's a lesson that we all can take, man, is, we got to do that inner work so that we can overcome those challenges and people not believing us or when we're wrong, being able to bounce back from it and continue to get up and move forward. Those are my thoughts. I want to hear your thoughts. Like, what's your take on Deontay Wilder? You feel like the crash out was worth it? Do you feel like, he totally went off the rails? Do you feel like, the interviewer did the right thing? Do you feel like he kind of set him up for this situation? I want to hear what your take is on this. Feel free to share it in the comments and definitely make sure you check out more videos on this channel. And I can't wait to see you in the next one. Until then, I'm Jay. Stay blessed.